Ukraine has drawn attention at the latest Ramstein gathering, with European partners responding in a significant way. The Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and the United Kingdom have jointly committed to a major new support effort for Ukraine, marking one of the most substantial coordinated pushes in recent periods. According to estimates shared after the meeting, the total value of new assistance reaches around $4 billion. These are not abstract commitments on paper. The funding is structured to deliver specific categories of military equipment directly needed on the battlefield, strengthening Ukraine's ongoing operations against Russia. Ukraine's Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov confirmed that the country has secured one of the largest allocations yet under the Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List program, commonly known as PEARL. He described a package worth approximately $1 billion under this mechanism alone. The system, created by the United States, allows allied countries to purchase American-made weapons that are then sent straight to Ukraine without intermediate storage or delay. Fedorov noted that part of the package includes long-range artillery capabilities designed to strike targets beyond 30-kilometer distances. He emphasized that allies are acting during what he called a strategic window of opportunity, increasing the scale of support through coordinated procurement. By the end of the year, 2025, NATO members and partner states had already committed more than $4 billion into the PEARL system. Additional contributions expected during 2026 are now beginning to materialize, reinforcing the steady flow of weapons into Ukraine's defense structure. These resources are also intended to complement Ukraine's expanding domestic drone and weapons production capacity. Belgium has also made a notable announcement regarding its previously delayed F-16 transfer program. 7 aircraft are scheduled for delivery to Ukraine, including 3 fully combat-ready jets and 4 additional airframes intended for spare parts to support maintenance of existing fleets. This update marks a shift from earlier plans that limited Belgium to only non-operational aircraft. Norway and Belgium have both faced delays in delivering a combined total of 36 pledged F-16 fighters, largely due to logistical and upgrade timelines connected to other defense procurement programs. The new Belgian decision signals renewed momentum in completing these transfers. The United Kingdom continues to expand its role as one of Ukraine's most consistent supporters. At the Ramstein meeting, London announced an £852 million aid package. This includes funding for 150,000 drones to be produced within Ukraine and the provision of 350 missiles intended for air defense systems. The package is also set to include upgraded radar systems designed to improve early detection of incoming aerial threats. These enhancements are intended to increase Ukraine's ability to intercept missiles and drones more effectively. Funding for several components of the support package is drawn from revenues linked to frozen Russian assets held in the United Kingdom. Germany has added further contributions, allocating $400 million to procure additional air defense ammunition for Ukraine. It is also committing $200 million specifically for PACI-3 interceptor missiles, which are critical for countering ballistic and cruise missile attacks. These acquisitions are being processed through the PURL framework. In addition, German officials confirmed further deliveries outside of PEARL, including another IRIS-T air defense system and an accelerated supply of guided IRIS-T SLS and SLM missiles. Germany also plans to transfer a 3-digit quantity of air-to-air missiles from its own stockpiles. Across Europe, these coordinated commitments reflect an accelerating effort to strengthen Ukraine's air defense, long-range strike capacity, and overall battlefield sustainability as the conflict continues. Germany and the United Kingdom have placed strong emphasis on strengthening air defense capabilities through their latest military assistance to Ukraine. Ukraine continues to face a critical shortage of missile systems and modern interception platforms, a concern repeatedly highlighted by its leadership. President Volodymyr Zelensky made this issue directly clear during his opening remarks at the Ramstein format meeting, addressing NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. He stated that he raised 2 urgent priorities: the number of air defense systems and the supply of artillery shells. He stressed that both remain insufficient and are urgently required. Zelensky further called on European leaders to increase their support, not only for Ukraine's immediate protection, but also for the broader security of Europe in response to the Russian threat. Recent figures underscore the scale of the conflict. According to Kharkiv's Gwara media, Russia launched 8,150 drones and 201 missiles against Ukraine during May. These strikes resulted in 274 civilian deaths and left 663 people injured. Despite the intensity of these attacks, Ukraine's air defense systems demonstrated significant effectiveness. Approximately 90% of incoming drones were intercepted. Ukrainian interceptor drones are believed to have played a major role in achieving this rate. However, the more difficult challenge remains missile interception. Out of 211 missiles launched by Russia, Ukraine was able to stop only 55%. The situation is even more severe regarding ballistic missiles, where the interception rate dropped to 17%. This gap highlights the urgent need for additional Patriot missile systems and other advanced air defense technologies. Germany and the United Kingdom have recently committed further supplies to address this requirement. These systems are expected to improve Ukraine's interception capacity over the coming months. Improved defense performance is expected to reduce civilian casualties and strengthen morale while limiting Russia's ability to strike Ukrainian rear positions. Reduced damage in rear areas is also expected to increase Ukraine's operational capacity on the front line. Alongside defensive support, attention at the Ramstein meeting also shifted toward offensive capabilities, with the Netherlands playing a central role. While much of the European assistance has focused on air defense, the Netherlands used the opportunity to enhance Ukraine's strike capacity against Russian forces in occupied territories and within Russian-controlled areas. The Netherlands has committed to providing 700 cruise missiles as part of its aid package. However, these missiles are not drawn directly from existing Dutch stockpiles. Instead, the Netherlands will finance the production of 700 Ruda missiles. These missiles are expected to be manufactured at a facility operated by Destinus located on Dutch territory. This approach ensures production security and reduces vulnerability to potential disruption of manufacturing sites. The specific variant of Ruda missiles to be delivered has not yet been confirmed. The system includes 3 versions. Ruda Block 1 serves as the foundation model. It has a range of approximately 300 km and carries a 150 kg payload, making it suitable for medium-range strike missions. Ruda Block 2 increases capability with a range of 800 km and a payload of up to 250 kg. The most advanced version, Block 3, extends range to 2,000 km while maintaining a 250 kg payload capacity. This version would allow strikes deep into Russian territory, including targets as far as Moscow and beyond, with the potential to impact critical military and energy infrastructure. These developments reflect Europe's broader response to Ukraine's stated priorities, particularly during a period described as a window of opportunity by Ukrainian officials. The expansion of missile production and long-range strike capability is intended to complement Ukraine's existing drone and hybrid strike systems. At the same time, European partners continue to strengthen Ukraine's defensive shield against the same categories of weapons being deployed against it. According to Ukrainian Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, the aid from these 4 countries directly supports 3 key priorities: anti-ballistic defense and air defense systems, long-range artillery capabilities, and drone development. Ukrainian Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov highlights that Ukrainian-made drones are already playing a direct role in stopping enemy forces. He explains that they are used for mid-range strike missions and for hitting targets on enemy territory. He adds that, assuming Ukraine receives Ruda Block 3 missiles, the capability would extend further into deep strike operations. Fedorov describes this as a complete structure of capabilities. Anti-ballistic systems and air defense coverage are included. Mid-range strike operations are also supported, along with the ability to hit targets inside Russia. He links these developments to a broader set of priorities being delivered through Allied support. He reinforces that Ukraine is receiving what it has requested. At the same time, he connects this to a wider shift in the war, describing it as a critical moment shaped by coordinated international aid. The timing of the new military assistance package is presented as significant. It aligns with Russian efforts to expand and improve its own aerial warfare capabilities. Reports from Liga indicate that Russia has been increasing drone production and modernizing missile systems to intensify pressure on Ukraine. Further reporting from the Moscow Times on June 2nd shows that Russian aircraft production in April increased to 117% compared to the previous year. This figure is well above the long-term average growth rate of 68%. However, this increase is largely driven by strike drone manufacturing rather than traditional fighter aircraft. Additional reporting from June 13th notes continued modernization of Russian missile systems, including Iskander and Kh-101 missiles, as well as Ka-B bombs. These upgrades focus on extending range, improving resistance to air defense systems, and increasing production volume. The information was provided by Colonel Oleksandr Zaruba, Chief Research Fellow at the State Research Institute for Testing and Certification of Weapons and Equipment, according to Liga. Ukraine is responding to this evolving threat environment by strengthening both air defense systems and interceptor drone capabilities. This combined approach is intended to improve interception rates and reduce the impact of Russian aerial attacks. Despite this, Russian drone and missile strikes continue to cause significant civilian casualties each month. The new aid package is designed to counter this ongoing pressure. At the same time, European leaders and NATO officials describe the current period as a window of opportunity. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte used the same phrase during the Ramstein meeting, noting that the situation allows for a shift into a delivery-focused phase ahead of a NATO summit in Ankara. Rutte stated that assistance aligned with Ukraine's priorities would increase pressure on Russia and potentially push it toward negotiations aimed at ending the war. He described the window of opportunity as a central theme of the discussions. This shift reflects a broader assessment among Ukrainian and European officials regarding battlefield conditions. Ukraine is currently advancing in several areas, while Russia is reportedly struggling to achieve significant gains despite ongoing offensive operations. Since the beginning of 2026, Ukraine has reclaimed more than 600 square kilometers of territory. According to the Institute for the Study of War, both April and May showed net territorial gains for Ukraine compared to Russian advances. This development places Ukraine in a favorable position in terms of momentum on the battlefield. It also reinforces the idea that additional support could further shift the balance in Ukraine's favor. A major factor in this change is Ukraine's mid-range strike campaign. Dutch-made Ruda missiles are expected to enhance this capability further. The Institute for the Study of War noted in its June 20th assessment that Ukraine continues to conduct systematic strikes on key infrastructure, including bridges connecting Kherson Oblast to Crimea, disrupting supply lines, and isolating strategic areas. The Atlantic Council similarly reports that roads in Russian-occupied southern Ukraine have become high-risk zones due to ongoing strike operations. These actions are also limiting Russia's ability to conduct effective frontline offensives. Combined with strikes on Russian energy infrastructure, this strategy is described as weakening Russian operational capacity across multiple sectors. As a result, Ukraine has been able to maintain pressure and gradually shift momentum during the late spring of 2026. Russia is expected to increase its military activity during the summer period. Reports from the New Voice of Ukraine indicate a rise in mechanized assaults across the front lines toward the end of May. However, Ukrainian pressure appears to be affecting Russian operational effectiveness. Continued international support is expected to help Ukraine sustain defensive and offensive capabilities simultaneously, while also protecting against aerial attacks. The June 2026 Ramstein Format meeting is therefore described as a key moment. It represents not only financial assistance, but also a strategic recognition by Ukraine's partners of shifting battlefield conditions and Ukraine's improved position. European support from four nations is framed as reinforcing both defense and offensive potential. It reflects confidence that sustained aid can maintain pressure on Russia while strengthening Ukraine's ability to defend its territory. The broader conclusion drawn is that Ukraine must maintain momentum, with Russia's combat effectiveness under strain and Ukraine's capabilities. Improving continued support is positioned as a decisive factor in the ongoing conflict. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.